this is a call for creative concepts. If your concept is selected, we will then award you with a stipend fund of $1,000 and work with you to position your concept into a proposal alongside a designated property along this corridor. And projects submitted, we're looking for them to be greenlit in 2023. So without further ado, this is an open call for creative organizations, collectives, and artistic businesses to submit creative concepts for San Francisco's mid-market neighborhood. Market Street between 5th and Van Ness is where we are isolating this particular project and proposals. These concepts should be for ground floor retail spaces and or ground floor storefronts along Market Street. This call is in support of Rethink, Re-envision, Re-experience Mid-Market, RRR Mid-Market, a public-private project led by the neighborhood's own Mid-Market Business Association and Foundation, MMDA&F, with the art agency, our art agency, Now Art. Again, prioritized application deadline, April 20th, 2023 at 11:59 p.m. This is a rolling application. Concept submitted must have a timeline for 2023 implementation. This is an introductory summary of this project. And any more questions, again, please join our Q&A on April 11th between 2 to 3. This is the organization and a little bit about us. Ernesto Soprani or Colleen Angelis or Kim may have reached out to you via email. If you haven't been directly reached out to and you're still joining, please welcome. This is in response to some of the Bay Area creatives, desire of what they would do if they were given empty storefronts and what their need for empty retail spaces or empty spaces is. We're really listening to the local organization's input in San Francisco. And what's making this initiative different is that, and this is what is important to share, is that this is not, the creative tenants for vacant spaces is not the only aspect that we're looking at in terms of supporting creative along the Market Street corridor. We're also looking at large-scale installation, and we're also looking at public art activation. So if you are an individual artist and you're really interested in doing a public art activation, please welcome. You can also, we have a call for concepts out for public art activations, and you can go to experiencemidmarket.com, and you can also see the form for those concepts, and please submit them to us. But this slide is really to show that it's the intersection between all of these initiatives that's really going to help to create and sustain a vibrant neighborhood. We're also looking and are interested in hybrids, a print organization or collective that can also engage in workshops. We want to be able to see that the community is integrated into these concepts. And so, that these locations and concepts that are coming to us are also going to list out the times of day that they are going to be open, the ways in which they will engage the existing community. There's a large residential population along Market Street, and we want them to be included in this initiative. So a print collective or organization that can also have an artist bookstore associated with it, or zine publications, or teach artists how to create their own zines in the back. These kinds of hybrid models that are both incubators, but also support the outside community and give people an experience into the arts is what we really want to be able to see happen. If it's an artist residency that you're proposing, that's fantastic. How would that artist residency also integrate with the community? Would the artist offer, sort of workshops or talks? Would they bring the community in to see their work? How would they be showcasing any type of progress? Would that be in the storefront window, or, how are the storefronts being activated along the corridor? If it's a dance studio or workshop, how is the ensemble also letting people know that there is dance that's happening inside of the space? Is that in hosting dance classes? Is that in showcasing the work on a video screen that is on the facade, so that people can sort of learn and see what's happening on the inside? If it's a studio gallery, is the gallery also doing artist workshops for the community in the back, or talks? And how is that studio or collective associated with some of the other galleries that are along Market Street? And would they be interested in creating, community surrounding that? Is the podcast being recorded in a way that we can see it? Would speakers go out into the street? Would that podcast be in the front window, facade window? Would there be recording stations for other artists interested in creating podcasts? Would there be a coffee shop associated, or a writer's workshop? If it's a photography studio, would there be a photo gallery? Would there be classes for photographers that would also be open to the community? If it's a tech hub, would there be video installations in the front gallery? Would there be, tech classes, an AR exhibit outside onto the street? Are these workshops also open to families? We're also looking to stagger and be able to speak to underserved populations, so younger and older populations, disabled populations. We're looking for complete integration and ideas and concepts that are really helping to reinforce the cultural vitality and community that already exists along Market Street and in the mid-market area. And then going to this slide, to reinforce, there's about 159 million square feet of vacant retail space across the country. Again, these initiatives for bringing creatives into these vacant retail spaces is not isolated to San Francisco. It's happening in West Hollywood. It's happening in Chicago, in New York, all over the place. And so we're learning from a lot of our peers and open conversations about what's working, what's not working, but we're also really interested in the local and what would work in this area of San Francisco specifically. To speak a little bit about some of these initiatives, in Chicago, the city is really helping to support these initiatives, and they're really looking at the intersection of cultural production with economic development, but also in Hell's Kitchen, this call out, keeping incentives to keep the neighborhood clean, accessible, and attractive is really important. And so safety is a big concern along Market Street, and we're working with MMDA&F and the city to be able to help, the safety issue and reinforce any creative submissions that safety will be, top of mind as a consideration for any concepts that would like to come into this particular area. In our targeted outreach, again, just to reemphasize, we're looking for concepts that engage the population by day parts. So, if your concept really plays into nighttime activation, how that would parlay with some of the existing traffic along Market Street in the nighttime, but also in the daytime, how it would parlay into the transit corridor that is really, Market Street as well. And then creative projects that associate and integrate with the existing community in all of its aspects, the existing cultural community, the existing residential community, the existing community on the street, and the creation of media that curation of media that bring in new concepts and play with existing organizations. So, there's a lot of performing arts along Market Street and in the mid-market corridor. So performing arts, maybe this concept that you wanted to bring to the table helps to reemphasize or brings performance into, a new light or a different light, where you want to be able to work in alignment with some of the dance organizations and performing arts organizations that already exist there. Or this is, a totally different media that's not represented that you think would be complementary to some of those audiences. All of that is great, but we really want you to consider and think of the organizations that currently exist there and how your concept would be in support of those organizations. And then a lot of organizations that may have existed in this area have been displaced because of the high premium rent and cost to be able to have a brick and mortar space. Please, you're most welcome to apply. This is an amazing opportunity to be able to bring your organization back into this community as a creative stakeholder. And always considering, because this is ground floor retail space, how it is perceived for people that are walking along the street, the pedestrian activity on the street. So we don't want this to be a situation in which a creative tenant, has closed doors and the pedestrians never understand or know that there's something exciting that's happening behind them. We really want there to be much more visible presence along the street, and even past the street, maybe into the sidewalk, or even acoustically, in any way that we can really help to make a mark and let people know that this is, this is happening all along the mid-market. My name is Carmen Zella. If you have any questions, please send them to info@nowartpublic.com. Again, sign up for our Q&A session, April 11th, between 2 to 3 p.m. You can RSVP at nowartpublic.com. I know this was short and sweet, and you might have a lot of questions, but we really hope that you will feel encouraged to apply. Again, this is a call for creative concepts, so it's just the concepts only. And if you're selected, then we will be working with you to develop it into a full proposal. Thank you so much.